And welcome to... Oops. And we might as well use the full title. And are we live? Okay, we're live on Twitch. Not yet live on YouTube. I think we're live on YouTube now. Let's see if the chat works. And yes, chat works. Audio comes through, but it shouldn't. Check. I think the music is alright. And that's it. I think we're good to go. Alright, so today we have a couple of items to sort out. So there's an issue with the fog mask, where the fog mask doesn't extend as far as it needs to. So on puzzles with a lot of exterior elements like this one, it cuts it off. There's a secondary issue where it blurs the external elements, basically everything that's, well, everything really. But it seems to be related to, one sec, what am I doing here? It seems to be related to the actual scaling rather than the mask. But it doesn't occur in the previous versions, so I have to figure out what's going on here. Oh yes, and then I want to look at the custom style breakage in the SudokuPad app. So basically what happens is sometime early this year, I added a feature to inject custom styles. The problem is the app had a bug where that style was actually modified for all puzzles, not just for the puzzle with the custom style. Now on the website, that's not a problem because it just resets that every time puzzles come, every time you open a puzzle. Excuse me. But in the app keeps running and you're expected to run multiple puzzles. And of course, it generates thumbnails, so it actually loads the puzzles. So during thumbnail generation, it basically potentially loads in some of those puzzles, which then affect the styles for all the other puzzles, and it often causes lines to basically disappear, such as in killer cages and so on. So what I need to do is I need to find or generate a puzzle that does that, you know, and then basically the idea that I had, because until I update the app, I can't actually modify the code in the app. But what I can do is, if you're clicking here to generate a link, that link I can modify. So what I could potentially do is change the link on the fly and modify the puzzles such that every puzzle contains the default styles if they don't have custom styles. And that way, hopefully one of those puzzles will get loaded in and then correct it for all the other puzzles, right? It's a little bit shaky, but maybe I can do something there ahead of basically just updating the app eventually. Now, Mark TechFan has provided me with some... Oh yes, and that's the other item. So we have the feature for marked solved digits, which is over here. Mark solved digits on, right? And basically, once you have all the digits in, let's say all the ones, it's supposed to mark the button, gray the button out for that digit. So I'm gonna need a puzzle that's solved. I did solve the, so this is going to be a spoiler, but I did solve the daily puzzle. Not the latest one, apparently. So the one before the latest one with the arrows. If I open that up, maybe I can use that. Because I just need a solved puzzle, right? And I don't want to waste time. Yeah, here we go. Solved puzzle. So here all the digits are marked out. Now this version, spoiler alert, right? This is if you haven't played this puzzle yet. This is from the Discord. This is currently using the provided solution. The problem is it doesn't work on puzzles that don't have the solution included. It quote unquote spoils it for some people because it obviously, if you put in the digit in the wrong order, it won't mark the digit as solved. So towards the end of the puzzle, let's say, I don't know, if I have one box missing, right? Let's say, okay, so we know the 9 goes, well, okay. That's not going to work, right? Let's say we have this, right? So now the 9, all right, the 9, we need something that isn't in these. So split it up, 2, right? So 2 is somewhere here or here, but we know it's got to be here. And it's not here or here. So the 2 is got to be here, but it could be here in theory, right? But it doesn't mark it as solved. But if I put it here, because it's, Yeah, then it marks it as solved. Okay, that's going to be a little bit annoying to... Yeah, so if I put a 2 here and here, it doesn't mark it as solved, even though we have 9 2s in here, right? But if I put the 2 here and here, it marks it as solved. Now, personally, I think this is more accurate, right? Because otherwise, it's like, is it really solved if the digits aren't in the order of the solution? But what I think might make sense is to say, okay, if we have a solution, we know how many of each digit there should be. So we can use that count to actually be accurate, because obviously, it's easy to say for 9x9 standard Sudoku, but my software, hey Mark, but my software obviously is not necessarily only used on 9x9 standard Sudoku, so I don't want to presume that. I probably should, because it's, the vast majority of puzzles. But I prefer to have a generic solution that just works for everything, right? So, and I think part of the strength of the software is that it allows setters to be creative and create all sorts of kinds of puzzles. So let's have a look. I guess this should only affect the feature file, which is awesome. And what we'll probably do is substitute this code and then just look at the diff, right? So one of the issues also was that it doesn't, so undos don't affect it. So, if I put the 2 here and here, but now if I undo it, it's still marked as solved. So it doesn't update on undo redo. So I think that's this change over here. I think that's all that's going to happen. That we're looking at undo and redo as well. And to be honest, in the future, I might improve this, because this is starting to become a very standard thing. So maybe this API could sort of improve and be simplified. And that's the one thing. And then the other changes to mark solved digits. Now he's got this big comment in. I'm going to replace the whole thing and then just look at the diff. I think that'll be the easiest. I think if I can just do this. I think the comment is part of the biggest change here. Yeah. So let's have a look. Okay, so he's changed a lot of stuff here. Ugh. Okay, that's not great. Let's see if we can reduce the amount of changes. So if we make this as a separate line, for example. Just for now. Just to make the diff as small as possible. For example, y is... Oh, okay. Solution.split. So is it not using the solution at all? Sure. Solution for each. So, okay. So for example, I don't actually like this because I don't want to limit it to valid to just the digits, because, it might have letters. It might be a puzzle with letters and stuff like that. Now the problem, and that's why I made it only work with a solution, because with a solution I know what's valid for this particular puzzle. Without a solution, we're kind of guessing, right? Without a more advanced rule parser in the future. Row size, call size, call size. Soft digit row size. All right, so what's going on here? What's going on here? A whole bunch of stuff he's doing. So he's calculating these row size. I think this is, I just call this rows generally. So let's just normalize the variables so it's easier for my little brain to understand what's happening. Okay, I don't know why we have spaces. He likes putting spaces. You like putting spaces at the end of lines. All right, let's minimize this. Just reduce the amount of stuff I need to understand. Mark this. So what's going on here? So he pulls the solution out. So we used to do that before anyways. Odd board size. I don't know why Why are we skipping out with an odd board size? Why do we care? If we have a solution, we shouldn't care at all. We should just proceed with the solution-based method. Solve digits. So what's going on here? Cells.length. Why are we looping through the cells? So what was the old code? Solve digits, solved digits. Solution, solve digits, true. Digits. Why are you doing this instead of what I had up here? Because you're not allowing for empty. Because a valid digit is also a full stop, right? So the solution can also be empty. So we'll need to... Yeah, I don't like this. We gotta get rid of this because people are already asking about letters in the solutions. Yeah, but we don't care. Like, if we have a solution, we shouldn't care about the dimensions, right? So I'm trying to understand where you're using the solution here. Place.length. Square root solution.replace. So you're taking the length of non-zero digits and the square root. That doesn't make sense because you're assuming the solution has only digits in it, right? And it's the number of filled cells. Max digits. Soft digits equals max digits. I don't understand because... Okay, so you're replacing all the empty slots and then you get some number between, let's say, I don't know, 36, right? Or whatever, like 49, that's, so the square root of that is 7. Max digits then would be 7? I'm not sure why that is useful. When the length of a provided solution without zero dot question mark is a square number, then it is highly likely that the square root of this length is the count of each number in the grid. There's a notable exception to this rule. But if we have a solution, then why not just count how many there are? What do you mean premature, though? All right, let's have a look. So, and what I'm an idiot. I should have copied the prior function here. So let's bring that back. And then these lines, I think they're at the end. If I do this, then this is all new. Okay. So at least we can do this now. And here, then I can just do this, right? And then we can do .app.current puzzle.solution. So, the number of the grid. If the length of the solution without zero is a square number, then it is highly likely that the square of this number. Here's a notable exception where it does something. Previous application marks out for this puzzle does spoil the solution by marking digits as solved premature. Why would it mark them prematurely? I mean, this seems like a standard 4x4, right? So I'm assuming these are our 16 digits. So there's nothing premature, right? If you put in 4 of a digit, you know it's solved. No, because, okay, I see, because it doesn't have, it has only one five, it has 1, 2 5s, 3 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see. Okay, so the problem here is that if a puzzle has fills the empty space, digits 1 to 5, so that every row, column, box contains digits 1 to 5 exactly once. 1 through 5, that every row box. One digit is filled in the top left corner of the calculator. Meaning, fill the empty spaces with digits 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we don't have space for change digits 1 through 5 exactly once. Every row corner. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 5 here. Every row, column, and box contains digits 1 through 5 exactly once. This doesn't contain a 5, so to me the instructions here aren't quite accurate. I think what it's supposed to mean is that it should contain 4 different digits from the digits 1 through 5. So I still don't understand how it would show things prematurely. Because the user is not supposed to know how many of each digit there are, right? But you can't have it both ways. You can have it show when all the digits are filled in and not tell the user when all the digits are filled in, right? One digit is filled in the top left corner of the killer cage. Well, okay. Alright, maybe I need to play this puzzle just to understand what it's on about. So, for example, right. So these are from the digits 1, 2, 3, 4. So the sum can only be a 3 or a 4. So 1 and 2 must be in here. And the 1 must be in the cage. So we cannot have a cage of 3 cells, because between 1 and 5 we cannot sum up 3 cells, right? We know must be a 1 in the cage. And then the cage must be either 1, 2. Yeah, so it's either 1, 2 or 1, 3. You cannot have a 4 in it. And then the cage sum is a 3 or a 4. If the cage sum is a 4, this is a 1, 3, and that's a 2. And if the cage... to be honest, I don't know what that is. I think it's something from Power Toys. I need to find out and get rid of it. And... one second. The sound is too loud in my ears. Or I myself am too loud. Ooh. Like that, maybe. All right. Maybe I just put the microphone further away. Let me think. So if this is a 2, that's a 1, 3, and the 4 goes in here. If this is a 3, this is a... so this can't be a 3. If this is a 2, then the 4 is the cage. If this is a 4, then the cage is a 3, and this becomes the 1, 2. Okay, so that's a 2 or a 4. And I'm guessing this is the same thing, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This must have a 1 in it. This must be a 2 or a 4. And this cannot have a 4 in it in the cage. No, there can't be a 5 in here. But here, there can be a 5. So this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this can be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 2, 4. This is a 2, 4. And then there's a 5 in here. And it can't be a 5 cage, this thing here. The 1 is in the cage, so that can't be a 1 here. So there's a 1 up here. So there's either 1 here, here, or there's a 1 here and here. 1, 2, or 1, 3. So this is a 2 or a 3 with a 4 or 5. Wait. If this is a 1, 2, the 3 is here. If this is a 1, 2, the 3 is here, and this is a 4, 5. If this is a 1, 3, the 4 is here. Wait, no. If this is a 1, 2, the 3 is the cage, and this is 4 and 5. Okay. If this is a 1, 3, the cage is the 4, and the 2 is here with the 5. So the 5 is always here. No, yeah, because the 5 can't be part of the cage, I assume, right? All right. So the 5... Could there be a cage, a 5 cage up here? I suppose. 2, 3, 1, 4. Yes, there could be a 5 cage up here. So there's a 5 here with a 2 and a 4, or a 4 here. 2 or 4, 2 or 4. So if this is a 2, that's not a 2. That becomes a 1, 3 with a 4. If this is a 2, then the 2 goes here. If this is a 4, then the 4 goes here. Alright. That's not super useful. 2 or 4. If this is a 2, that's a 2, that's the 4. If this is a 2, that's a 4. This is a 2. That's a 4, 5, and that becomes a 4. And that becomes a 1, 2, and a 3 cage, if this is a 2. If this is a 3, do we have a problem here? If this is a 3, this becomes the 1. The cage becomes a 4. This becomes a 2. The cage becomes a 4. This becomes a 2, 5. Okay. So the cage total here could be the 4. So the 4 is either here or here. And either here or here. This is tricky. This is tricky. If the 4 is here, it's not there. If it's there, it's there. Okay. So these two are the same. This is not trivial. Let me think. So we know there's a 5 over here. And it could be part of a cage. We don't know that yet. We don't know anything about the bottom corner. All right, let me think a bit harder about this. We have a 2 or 4 here. So that means the 3 is always over here. There's never a 3 here. So there's always a 3 here. And then there's... But there could be... Okay, I don't know if I should put the 4 in here in terms of that being the cage total. Because technically, that's also where the 4 could be. Alright, this is... The pencil marking is a little dodgy here. Because obviously, the cage total as a 4 counts in terms of what can go up here. So if the cage total is a 4, then this becomes a 4, 1, 3. This becomes a 2. And then this... Oh. This won't have a value, right? If this is a 4... Ah, no, this will be a 1 or a 3. So if this is a cage total of a 4, this becomes a 1 or a 3. And if there's a cage total of a 3... Wait, 4... That's a 1, 3. The 2 goes in here. That's a 1, 3. Yes. If this is a 3... Cage total of a 3, this becomes a 1, 2... And that becomes a 4. So this one becomes a 1, 2, 3. And the 4 goes into one of these two. 1, 2, 3. And this one always is a 4. With a 2 and a 4. So the 3 goes here. Does that mean the 3 has to be here? Yes. But it's either in the cage or as a cage total. So either this is a 1, 2, 3, or it's a 1, 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. That didn't help. That didn't help at all. Can I eliminate... Because this is the 2 or 4 here. So we must have a virtual 2-4 pair. So if the 4 is here, that's the 2. If the 4 is here, that's the 2, and there's a 2 here. If the 4 is here instead, that's the other option. The 4 is here instead. And the 4 has to be here. And that's the 4. That's a 3. So I think it's I think we're limited when we can put in here, right? Because it's the 4 and the 3. So it's 4, 1, 3 with a 4 being in the total, or it's a 3, 1, 2 with a 3 being in the total. Now if it's a 3, 1, 2, if it's the total is a 3, can we have a 2 in here? with the 1 being over here. If a 2 is here, 4 is here, 1 is here, that's a 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's also possible. All right, maybe I need to go further. We know this is, oh, this could be part of a cage. Ah, wait a second. So there needs to be a killer cage here and somewhere in here as well. Do we need 2 more killer cages, right? We need 1 for this, so we need maybe 1 here and 1 here. Like, okay, so this can't be a killer cage. Or we have, okay, so where are the possible killer cages? So either they're like this, and which covers this column, and then like, but we need to cover this row. And we can't do it from this side. So this needs to be a killer cage, right? And then, so that covers the bottom row in this column. So then the other one is here. So that's our other 2 killer cages, right? And this cannot have a 4 in it, right? Because if this has a 4 in it, this becomes a 2, and we cannot have a 2 in a 4 killer cage. So this must be a 3 killer cage, and it can't have a 4 in it. So this will have the 3 in the corner, and then this can't be a 1, so this has to be a 2. And I'm wrong. All right. All right. You know what? As much as I'd love to solve it, I think it's going to take up too much time. So I'm just going to fill in the solution because, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of playing it. How can that be a 1? Oh, because that's a 5 cage. I'm an idiot. Okay, so that'll be the 4. Okay. 1, 2, and then there'll be a 3 cage. So we get a 3 in the corner here. Oh, which we can't display. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Anyway, spoilers. Right. So we have an issue here with that. Okay, so that's with the mark_self_digits 1 function. So I'm presuming this function solves it. No, because I changed things. Row size. Rows. Okay, so this doesn't seem to work correctly for this kind of thing. All right, let me do first principles quickly. I'm pretty sure that from the solution we can use just the counts. And if we have a solution, we don't have to worry about any of the other stuff, right? So let's have a quick look at that. Right. Wait, can I? Yeah, just making sure my browser windows are the right sizes for the stream. There we go. All right, so we've got our solution. So this gives us the number of digits. So if we do this, that should give us the number of unique digits. Right. And then getting the count should also be relatively easy. We can probably, you know what, I'm just going to do this. So if I do this, and then I'll map these to we'll do something silly like this, and we'll take solution.replace, or I think we can just do this, right? Digit with nothing. I mean, if I do this, right, I'll get the inverted length or whatever. So I do this, right? This should give us the number of counts for each digit. So we have 3 5s, we have 4 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have, yeah, these gives us the counts, and the first thing gives us the digits. Well, actually, it's perfectly suitable because it gives us the test to make sure it doesn't break down with an, nichey, edgy case. Right, so this gives us the digit counts. So we have 4, 2, 3, 1, 5, and the counts for each digit. I think that's the easiest thing, right? And then in the old version, for each solved digits. So then we just kind of go through solved digits. So we kind of just do this, right? So I think it's the same algorithm from here on out. Basically. It's not a functional solution. Well, we do this, right? Whatever. Replace all the functions. All right. So why does this not solve for 5, for example? Feels like it should. So, oh wait, I'm not using this in any way here. Yeah, okay, well, what was I doing before? So we have digits, which gives us the list of... Oh, it's cosmetic. Ooh. Oh, Ah, wait. Oh, So we can put a number in here. Oh, shoot. Well, then the solution must have a... okay. So it won't work until you actually put a 5 in there. That's a little odd. Why would he not put a cosmetic 5 in there? I'm sorry, a given 5. Oh, probably because of... Is it because of F puzzles? I mean, then the puzzle works as designed, and there's not much I can do about it. So if I go into setting, given digit 5, and then go here. Come on. Nope. How do I edit the JSON again? Wasn't it Control 5? Control Shift, Control Alt, Control X, Control E? No. Control I, Control Shift J. I'm pretty sure JSON editor was Control J, wasn't it? Where's the JSON one again? Jesus. JSON editor, here we go. Second, I'm experimenting with a new monitor layout, so things are a little bit winky wonky here. Oh, geez. Can I? How do I open the script view? Here we go. What's the hotkey? SX for saving J. Unkey down. Control meta. Or Alt key. Not control. So is it Alt J? No. Windows J? Control Alt? Control J? Oh, Control Windows J. Great. Pretty sure that's not what it used to be. Anyways. So under grid. Candidates, pencil mark, candidates. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Candidates, they're not really given here, right? That's a little strange. So if I put a 4 here as a given digit. Why is it in the corner? Oh, it must not change. Click and drag to select cells. That's not... Why are... Oh, here we go. That was weird. Okay, so it won't let me put in a given 5. But will it let me change the given 4 to a given 5? For the JSON. So I press Control S. Or is it Control Alt S? Alt S, Control Windows S. No. Control Shift S. Control X. So it's red probably because I can't do that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm getting errors in the... Oh my god, nothing freaking works. F12 doesn't work. Oh, because it's erroring out like crazy. Candidates 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is it putting candidates in? I don't actually understand that. I didn't tell it. Oh man. So it's really a limitation of F-puzzles because my setup would happily accept a given 5. The problem is it doesn't help people if I tell them just put in a given 5. But you're assuming that digits should have the same count. In this case, they're 3 5s, right? So it wouldn't make sense to mark them at the same count at all. It's just the puzzle isn't like it should. My system should work correctly according to the data. If the data is incorrect, i.e., if it's hiding a digit from the user, then my system can't do anything about it, right? I don't know. I mean, this is up to the F-puzzles people and the setters there. I'm sure. There must be a way of letting at least the JSON editor let it edit the data. You know, it should just put the data in there like I'm telling it to. I mean, that's right. I still don't understand why candidates are listed here. So this should be a 5 as well. But I can't edit it. Like, it won't let me change these at all. I don't know. And I don't know what outputs this. I mean, it's telling me here. Fog light? Wait, what? Ah, why is fog light doing this? Did I... Oh my god. Can I not shut that? Okay, I just switched fog light off. So this should no longer be run. Do I have to refresh it? F5 doesn't work either. I don't know. Like, half of my keyboard isn't functional anymore. So row 2, column 1, we want insert array given. Actually, I don't know. It's probably not an array. Insert string. Nope. So I also don't understand that if I insert on the parent, it doesn't create a child, it creates a sibling. So I have to insert on a child of the parent to create another, I don't know, this JSON thing doesn't really seem to work. And I cannot type here. Like, it doesn't let me put in a G. Or certain, like, what the hell? Do I have to paste? God. Why is it formatting this as a hex color? It's not a hex color. God damn it. This is so bizarre. Oh, no. So if I put a 1 here, and I'll go back to JSON. Candidates value given. Candidates value given. So these are rows, right? So second row, we want given true. So given is supposed to be a boolean. So if I go here and I say insert a string, and I call it no, not candidates. Okay, it screwed it up. I don't know. I've told it to add a new thing, and instead it edit the existing one. So, all right, put a 1 here, and then we'll clone whatever that did. I'm really struggling here, and it's wasting time because this is not my code. Okay, so I want to add value under candidate. So I go here, I say insert string, type in value, except it won't let me type in value, so I have to copy and paste the text from somewhere else. And then this should be a 5. I don't know why it thinks it's a color. Like, I'm pretty sure this is an auto type. I don't know why a string type turns it into a number. Okay, all right, totally makes sense, right? Then candidates need to be removed. So we gotta remove this one, we gotta remove this one, and this needs to be a 5. Okay, so it's now identical to this one, except with a 5, and the value is in the wrong spot, but maybe we can move that. All right. So if I do Control S, Control S, Control Window S, Control, nope. Alt S, Window S, nope. Control Alt S, Shift S, nope. Key S, event code, event meta key, or control key and alt key. So Control Alt S, Control Alt S. And if I go to X, it won't save it. So the question is, why is it not letting me save it? I'm guessing it's validating, but there's no messages, no errors, nothing. And I have no idea. Okay. I mean, this kind of sucks, but that's really not for me to fix, to be honest. If they're giving me a puzzle that's not really valid, i.e. it has something that looks like a given, but it's not a given, maybe can I just export it from here? I don't know if the JSON editor at this point, decompress, let me see. Compressor.decompress. So if I parse the JSON, sorry if it's at the bottom of the screen. So I'm parsing the JSON here. I just want to see if it actually puts in the stuff that I'm telling it to put in. Doesn't look like. Oh no, wait, that's cages. Grid, candidate. No, it doesn't. It's not saving it at all. Control X. Control X. Window Alt X. Window Alt Save. So I'm guessing there's a validation and it doesn't let me do anything. It doesn't even let me get out of here. So unless I manually fix it all, okay, this is disastrous, and it's gonna waste my time. So there isn't much I can do about it. I'm just gonna have to ignore that aspect because, well, setters set your puzzles correctly, and if your tools don't let you, that's not really my fault. But now it does actually do this correctly. I don't know if I should, if the solution is ready, should I mark the other digits as solved? I mean, an argument can be made that this only applies to 0 through 9 simply because that's the buttons that are showing. So let's think about this. Here we're going through the solution. But in reality, we should go through the buttons, right? So we have solved digits as a style on the body. We've got the solved digit styling, and that affects these guys via this thing. So we have the data value. So let's have a quick look at this stuff here. So not input letter. Okay, so we're applying this to these guys. So if I do a query selector all on this, button, we get 15 buttons. So button.digit, I guess. And then we'll get 10. And then we'll do a mapping. Something like that. All right, so this would, in theory, give us the buttons that we need to worry about. And this would be generic. I mean, I don't like the fact that it's going back to the HTML for this, but we got to go back to the HTML anyways. So let button values. Oh my God, I can't type. What do you mean, ignore the solution? Well, I want to solve the correct version first, and then afterwards we basically want to build something that gets as close to it as possible. Because they should include solutions, and there should be no expectations that anything works correctly if the solution isn't included. So that's the one I want to get right? And then the other stuff, you don't want to integrate the solution. If you have a solution, you don't need to do anything else, right? You're done. And if you don't have a solution, you don't have a solution. So there's nothing to integrate. I don't know why you would integrate solution digits, right? There's only the solution digits. There's no other digits. Everything else is quote-unquote wrong, basically. All right, so let's do button values. Let's get rid of that. So we have button values here. So that's what we want to loop over. We don't really want to loop through solution or solve digits or anything like that. So for each button value, right? We're going to log out the val. Then we'll log out the what do we got? Digits are all the digits in the board. So we'll do digits.filter. Oh. We'll do digits.join. No, we'll just do a filter. We'll get all the digits that are the same as value. And then we'll do this, and then we'll look at our counts for these. And the counts are, we looked at them up here, right? So solution, and then we have the counts here. And we can probably just reduce that into a ref object, right? So we'll just do a We'll do a reduce, accumulator, current value, object.assign, accumulator, then it'll be just the current value referenced to the count, like that. And then we're passing in an empty object. I think that should do the trick. Nope. Digit is not defined. Line 59. Digit is not defined. Accumulator. Current value. So our solution count is this. So let sol count. All right. So we have a solution count. And then here we can do a solution count for this value. And then I just want to see if what we're getting here is sensible, right? So we have values 1. We have 4 values, count is 4. 2, 2, 2, okay. And then we can just do, if this is equal to that, we're done for that digit basically, right? If the length of this is equal to that. So true, 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 true. All right. And if I remove the 5, it will be false. Now, this is false because the solution count is here. So this is going to be or 0. So now this is true, 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 false. Okay. And then that's basically what we can do here, down here. So instead of this, and we need digits, right? We need button values. So here, no, not filter. Button values for each. We'll do const is solved. Right? And then instead of doing all of this, we'll basically just do this with is solved. And instead of D, it's val. Like that. And then we don't need to do any of this. And we can optimize it, yada, yada, afterwards. And I did not set up the looping for this. Keep going. Keep going, chip cell. So, now I don't remember. I think I had an argument with somebody about marking the digits that aren't used in a puzzle. And I think they had a problem with it because of kind of visual distraction. But I find it also wrong to not mark them, right? And I think it might be useful information to know which digits aren't part of a puzzle. How do you feel about that, Mark? So that one was something that somebody brought up. I think initially it basically started out like this, with all the digits that aren't used in the puzzle already marked as solved. Yeah, I remember now. That was basically complained about. So I guess by removing this, it'll sidestep that issue. Oh, shoot. Oh, nah. Darn. I gotta put these in again. I guess if I do this. Okay. It's so interestingly, it does put them on it. Yeah, so this is interesting. Should it mark them if it's larger? If the number is larger than the correct number? In other words, you know, if I do this, 1, 1, 1, 1, now I have 4 ones in it. If I put a 5th one in it, it unmarks it. I think it should keep it marked, because it's kind of, you know, it's called marked solved digits, but people clearly don't want that. They want me to change it from that being that, right? And to be honest, I think people will then argue the other way around. Once I implement this, people will say, hey, it shouldn't mark the digit as solved if it's not actually according to the solution, which is, you know, the previous implementation. Anyway, so this will work for this kind of puzzle. If I go back to the solution, and if I put in 4, 2, 3, 1, oh, what the solution was now? 3. So now 3 is finished. There are only 2 3s in here? 1? Oh, there are only 2 3s in here. All right. But you see, this is now not in the correct spot, and it'll mark it as finished. Obviously, meaning if you put in the right number of digits. Again, I don't agree with it, but that's what people were asking for. So I'm going to change it, and people are going to ask me to change it back. And then I'm going to change it again, and then they're going to ask me to change it back. And I really need to start documenting these things, so I stopped doing that. Going back and forth. Yeah. But now, I see. Okay, if I put a 3 here and a 1 here. So you see, so now it marks them all as solved because it's the right number, but they're not actually in the right order. All right. Maybe it'll teach me a lesson about doing what people ask me to do, which is usually a bad idea. Okay. So, solution counts are in here. If solution is undefined, we return. So that's what we were doing previously. Now we don't want to return if we're okay. Now we want to deal with a puzzle that doesn't have the solution. So in your code, what exactly are you doing here? You're making all sorts of presumptions about odd shapes and sizes. I don't know why you care about. I mean, I want it to work on non-rectangular boards, especially since because you don't know how many there are. Does that make sense? If it's not square, the number of digits, yeah, without a solution, you won't really know. Okay, so you can, okay, something can be said for saying that for weird stuff, we go by solution. If we don't have a solution, then we ignore weird stuff, right? So we're just capturing that sort of majority of 9x9s or whatever. Yeah, the thing is, you can't have it both ways, right? You cannot have it not work correctly because it's waiting for you to put in 3 3s or 4 3s or whatever, right? So, I mean, this is a very odd puzzle, yeah. But it's also an optional feature, right? So you cannot expect to ask for information and then complain when it gives you exactly that information, right? I mean, this feature is very specifically designed to give you exactly this kind of information when you're done putting in all the digits, so you don't have to keep hunting for more digits, right? So making the feature broken because we know that people don't actually want what they say they want, I don't believe in that. If people don't want the feature, they can switch it off, right? It's like the pencil mark checker, you know, it'll spoil stuff for you because it tells you made a mistake, right? So, and the system doesn't have a way of knowing that what's in the solution isn't what the information that the user has access to, right? All right, let's look at the. Now, why are you looking at cages? Oh, because of in cells. Okay. Well, we probably want to do this. I'm tempted to do this. Do we ever use it for anything but solution? Don't think so. Now the problem is, I'm not sure if this works. Which is a little annoying. It is a little annoying. I don't know if this works, actually. I think it'll complain. Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. That's like, they almost got the syntax correct, and then they kind of missed out, like, in the final steps, you know? Alright, that means now we no longer need to use puzzle down here. Puzzle, we can use cells directly. And we can do cages as well. Cells and cages. All right. And we probably want to output this as well. Just to get my brain around what you're doing exactly here. Ah, wait, we need something without a solution. These probably all have solutions, don't they? Yeah. Would this one have a solution? Yep. We'll need a CTC one. I think this will do. Pity that CTC never figured out the trick of actually adding a solution to the puzzles. Would have been nice. They would have adopted that. Alright, no solution found. This is not correct. This is not correct at all. Why is this not correct? Oh, because that's inside current puzzle. My bad. And I think cells, I think I should get them via get cells. Never mind. I don't know. I thought there was a function called get cells. Apparently, I'm wrong. Alright, one sec. Let me just... Why is my... Oh, why did the VCam show the wrong thing? Alright, anyway. Let me just double check. Alright, I wonder if there's a Discord... Can I change something about my Discord status to indicate that I'm streaming? Can I put the live stream URL into my status? Like that. I don't know if I can. What status icon can I use? I cannot use... Ugh, one of these days I need to pay for Nitro. But, what's a good icon for streaming? Film, camera. Let me know if my Discord status updated to streaming. I don't know if the URL comes through. All right. So min max 0088, rows columns 99. All right. So far so good. Now, valid digits, length solved digits char at I0 equals 0. Cells. Drop get normal. So really what we want to do is, we don't want to repeat all of this, right? So what we really want to do is we want to create a fake solution. And if we're not using solution position, then we can just fill this in with n of each digit. So every row gets, right? Does that make sense? What are you doing here in terms of other checks? You're doing the whole square root thing, but are we doing anything different? There is an algorithm for getting the region size, and it's in the fpuzzles decoder. And I think it is where is it? Offset RC min max get part center. No. There's a, or is it in utility? Get region shape. Here we go. Get region shape. Wait, this is from the size, but you need the size first. Get region shape. But the size is all I care about. I don't care about the shape. And the size is the puzzle size. Now I don't understand these, because does fpuzzles only support square puzzles? So does your implementation ignore non-square puzzles? I mean, and then we're falling back, because like I'm thinking about, for example, those 11 by 11 puzzles that you need to put 9 3 by 3 regions into. But then we have to fall back to solutions. Otherwise, there's no way, we have no indication what can be in there, right? Anything that's over 9 by 9, because we only have 0 through 9 as digits. But I'm not sure if you're doing anything clever with that stuff here. And I don't think, could we not count digits outside of that region as well? Or we're worried about the kind of puzzles where there's sort of a scratch area and all that stuff? I suppose so. I guess that's something we should always be doing. All right, so this should be something we do generally. Right. And then for digits, we'll do it this way, but we'll do it based on rows and columns. So once again, I'm trying to remember. I think it's grid.get cell row column. Yeah. So digits. We don't care about positioning though. That's nice. So we can do something like for let r equals min rc. So that's rc, yeah. Row r smaller than max rc 0. R++. Now we'll do the same thing with columns. So if we do that, it should just loop through the relevant stuff. So button values we can do earlier. And this we can do earlier because it has nothing to do with if we have a solution or not. Right? So this goes 0, 0 through 7, 7. That doesn't sound right. So it's smaller or equal. Like that. And I think they're zero base, so this should be correct. And then we should be able to do something like... we should have a little helper function. Const cell to val. We'll just do that. Like that. And this is going to be we have puzzle grid. It's going to be grid.getCell rc and then cell to val. Like that. So that should get us a value for each of these. Okay, that's not what I expected. Cell to val, pass in a cell. Oh, because it's not filled in. I'm an idiot. All right, let's do this. Cell to val. Okay, 4, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. Okay, so this looks correct. And then we'll do const digits. And then we'll do digits.push. Like that, with a bit of better spelling somewhere along the way. And then don't need that anymore. So digits are now these, and over here the digits will be all dots. Okay. All right, that looks right. My code assumes a single number for the count of digits. A single number for the count of digits. That was my point. Yeah, okay. So that gets us the digits. So now the only thing we're gonna do is, if the solution is undefined, we're generating our own solution. So basically, it's gonna be 1 through rows and cols. Is that the presumption here? Are you including or excluding zeros? Are you including or excluding zeros in your potential solution or generated solution? Solve digits, hide clue, continue. And you're including hide clue. What does the hide clue do? Because a cell shouldn't be able to have a value and or a given and be hidden at the same time. What was the thinking there? I'm sure you put in a reason, and I can't figure it out right now. Val digits, solved digits. Solved the refractory area for performance, solved digits. Equals 0. No, an array would have less performance because you'd have to kind of loop through the array to find your index and such. An object here is a hash map, basically. It has the highest performance for this kind of thing. But yeah, it's probably something we should clean up the performance just a little bit, since yeah, so Discord shows it as streaming, but it wouldn't know where I'm streaming to, I imagine. I don't even know exactly how it knows that I'm streaming in the first place. A given on a fog cell should not count. Fair enough. Fair enough. So cell dot. What was the flag hide clue? Ciao, guys. Cell.hide clue. We're gonna return. I guess we're gonna return blank. Is that gonna cause a problem? Is that gonna cause a problem? I don't think so, because blanks aren't available on the keypad, right? All right, so that should take care of that. Screw this. So we don't need that anymore. Button values we need. So all we're gonna do is, if we don't have a solution, is we're gonna generate our own solution. And right now, I'm guessing we'll just rows and cols, right? We're just filling them up. That needs a semicolon. So it's going to be something like new array. Okay, so the problem is, I think I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna ignore 0 for now. Again, it'll work fine with a solution puzzle, right? For non-solution puzzles, I'm just gonna go 1 upwards until we hit 9. Now, I could make a special case, say if it's a 10 by 10, include 0, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense because, you know, that's actually a very niche kind of puzzle anyways. So if we have a new array 10, we'll do this, and then we'll do map. Right, so we'll do new array, and we'll do rows, right? And then each row, we're gonna map, right? I mean, if I do this, what's it gonna look like? Sol count needs to come down here, actually. Like that. Extra brace in here. So solution is this, and in this one, solution would be invalid array length. Rows, calls. Range array, invalid array length. Invalid array length. Line 70. What do you mean? Rows. Oh, because they're not provided yet. Well, that's a little screwy. So that's a little bit of a problem because that happens when the puzzle isn't initialized yet. Maybe at that point we can detect that situation and just, you know, skip-a-doo. Would the cells area be empty at that point? We could also just take the number of cells and modulus that. Yeah, cell count will be easier, you're right. You are absolutely right. So screw solution. So we're gonna make this a variable that we can modify up here. This is a helper function. It goes to the top. It's assigned here. Or we could even do this, right? We just pass this in here, and then this can be a constant as well. Like that. We just do that here. And solution we don't care about. And then instead of this, the problem is the max RC thing is still going to be a problem. So if cells.length is 0, if cells.length equals 0, return. Just don't do anything. There's no point. Puzzle not be initialized yet. All right, so I don't like the fact that it runs like 3 times, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Holy crap. All right. That's all stuff. One of these days, I'd like to have a sort of refactor optimization sanity session. Okay, so now what we want to do is for every row, we want to create the count being yada yada yada, right? So we can basically do this. So if I do this, and we don't actually care about current. Oh my god, freaking line length. We want to do IDX, and the length would be calls, right? Something like that. Something like that, maybe. So sol count is 9 zeros, 9 ones, 8 nines. Okay, so this is really just index plus 1. So this would give us 9 of each for a 9 by 9 puzzle. And if we go to something like something like this is kind of something I'd like to be able to handle. Yeah, you see, so we have 11 here. The problem is our min-max here gets screwed because this didn't have the regions set up the way we kind of prefer to have it nowadays. Rows and calls less than 0. Then there won't be any cells. Or do you mean something else by that? What do you mean rows and columns less than 0? What about something like this one? Less than 0? I don't know what you mean by that. You can't have negative numbers of rows and columns. So now this one, this has the problem that the min-max algorithm... Ah, wait. Yeah, the min-max algorithm gets to 12 here. Yeah, so something like this, it just won't be able to manage. It's expecting 12 digits, but it's fine because it will kind of wait for 12 of a kind, right? That's kind of... This one is... Like these, I probably won't work without a solution, yeah. Although, no. Because I think it's going to wait for 20. 6 times 6 is 36. Yeah, it would be nice if it would recognize that this is, it needs 36 ones and 36 sixes and all that stuff. But it has no clue of knowing how these are distributed stuff. With a solution, I think we made a version, I made a test version with a solution for something like this. James or somebody reset something similar. With a solution with the gaps in the rows and columns. I'd like to get it to work with that. The problem is right now, I don't actually know if this is gonna work better or not, or worse than what we had prior. Wait, we still need those for other testing. All right, let's do something like this. So let's just play a simple puzzle like this, where the digits go. 3 here, no. Need something, give me something easy. 5 goes here, all right. So now we need 5 more 5s. All right, fair enough. 5, 5, 5. Okay, so it detected that the 5 is finished. Again, weird puzzles are gonna, they're always gonna screw us one way or another, right? Like we cannot magic information we don't have out of thin air. And people need to understand that, and setters need to set their puzzles accordingly. I mean, I guess to some extent it's my fault for not supporting the data that exists. not having a full solver and all that, but I'm only human. All right. 9, 6, 6, 999, 999. Oh, we're already at 9. All right. 2 goes here, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 8 here. Next puts the 1 here. And this is a 9 and a 3. With a 9 here, 3 here. This is a 1, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. That's a 4, 7, 9. So we have the 5 finished. What's going to be the next digit? All right, let's try. Yeah, so 1 goes here. 2 goes here. That's interesting. Mildly interesting. 3s, 4s. Yeah. No, 5s we know. 6s, oh, 6s are down to 2 pairs. 1 X-Wing. 8s, another 2, 8 pair up here. Interesting. So that puts this down to 1, 4, 6, 7. With no 1 here. Let's put the 1 here. 1, 4, 7, 9. And that can't be a 6 or 7. Interesting. Alright. And then this would be a 3 or a 9. No 9 here. 1, 4, 7. 9 goes here. That was a 2. That becomes a 2. 6. Alright, so that should let us finish 6 by putting it here. Alright, that works. And this is a 1, 3, or a 9. The 9 goes here. Alright, 1, 3 pair, which leaves us with a 2 and an 8. In this order. And this is 1, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 4. 1, 3, 4 triple. So this is 7, 8. And that's resolved. Oop, 9. Take care of there. 2 missing here. 1 and 2. Alright, 1 and 2. 8, 2. 1 goes here. Doesn't go there. 3 and 4. No. 3 and 5. No. 3 and 9. Alright. Let's go here. 4 here. 3, 4, something like. Oh, these 3 are 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 here. 1, 9 there. 1, 4. I just felt a stutter, so there's some code running that's piggish. And yeah, there was a stutter again. It could be just the updating of the console, though. But it's not that much stuff down there. Alright, 7, 4. 4 is finished. 9, 9. 9 is finished. 1 is finished. 3 is not finished yet. 3 is finished now, so 7 and 8 are missing. So that's a 7 and 8. Okay, so I think this works. So let's clean it up, see if we can get rid of the stutter. Well, to be honest, that stutter is probably related to the fog mask. So that's something we're going to look at next. So if the solution is undefined, we're just going to do this. Like that. Else, we'll do it like that. Rid of that digits, button values. Now, what I don't have is, I don't have the highest confidence that this is strictly better than what I had before. Because it's a little silly, and this was simple. What was I looking at here? I was just purely looking at the solution. Is my current algorithm at least as good if we have a solution? The nice thing is I don't think we need to exclude certain puzzles from checking altogether, because in those puzzles, like puzzles with 12 rows and columns or whatever, it will just never reach that count. So I don't think we have to worry about that. I mean, this should be a strict... Okay, let's look at it this way. This is a strict improvement over the previous algorithm. And as such, I think it can go in here. That's kind of my criterion. And it solves the undo issue as well. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Shoot. It doesn't. It does not. It does not. Why not? Why does it not? Is it because the tool was changed when it happened? Oh. I think it's because... No, wait. No. Oh, wait a second. Button values. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna change this to an array from 1 to 9 because... this is silly otherwise. Yeah, this is... We're just gonna make this... because that's just what's on the buttons right now. Going to the HTML is silly because if we're on the wrong tool, the whole thing just breaks down. Yeah, okay. So now the undo redo stuff is solved. Okay, all right. All right, this was supposed to be a little warm-up. Sorry to take me, not too bad actually, half an hour. I thought it was gonna be much more than that. All right, so let's have a look. I think that's a clean change. Let's push it. Bump minor. No, this is patch worthy. All right, so fix mark solved digits update on undo redo and non-solution puzzles. That's a little long and awkward, but I'll allow it. All right, let's move right along. So this was this one. So the next step is to fix the fog mask overflow, right? So we have an issue here, and this is not the blurry issue, which I want to fix as well if I can, or at least learn more about. It's basically that the fog mask renders to an arbitrary size and then just stops, and that's obviously not good enough. And I think it's happening only once in init fog, so putting in a little bit of extra effort is not a big problem here. Can it be here? Yeah, I suppose so. So, excuse me, I think I just blew out the where rows not equal calls. Why? They're not a problem. It'll work fine. It most likely won't show anything. It most likely won't get to actually marking off the digits, depending on the size of the board. But I don't think it'll work. I don't think it's worth excluding them, right? Especially since if they have a solution, we just go by the solution. It's very likely, more likely than not, they'll have duplicated digits and stuff like that, right? So count the same digit multiple times and all that sort of thing. All right. So board edge rectangle. I think that's the one that's being calculated badly. Now, I thought this should do it correctly. Yeah, which by excluding it will be the same thing, right? One sec, before we go there, since it does execute more often than I'd like, is there something really stupid I'm doing with this map reduce bollocks where I should just do a simple loop? Probably, eh? Like, for example, I'm calling this once for every... I mean, none of these are expensive, but they, you know, I do this all over the place, so eventually... so let's do this differently. Solution... Because I'm splitting it here, and then I'm joining it here. And I'm actually never using the split version. Well, I'm only using it once. All right, so let's do this. So console digits equals. So we're turning the solution into a set of unique digits like this, right? Then we can do sol digits.reduce. But really, all we want to do is we'll loop over these, right? So for let I length, I small length, I plus plus, and then we'll just do sol digits, sol count, sol digits, I equal this, right? Now we don't need to join it now. Is there a shorter way? I mean, this counts basically the number of digits of this particular digit, right? There must be a faster, more compact way of doing that. Like, I feel like there must be. Count letters in string. I mean, obviously I can just loop over it and count. I mean, this is basically what I'm doing there. Replace all, 0 with nothing. And just looping over it. You don't have to split it. Wait, split O. Ah. How many blocks of the character there are? That's interesting as well. Split, I mean, replace all. So this is actually one of the fastest versions. Interesting. Why is these? What's the second one? It's basically doing the inverse. One second. Replace all. Oh no, it's just more iterations. Okay. Splitting by the character. How is this faster than literally just looping over it? Because you shouldn't have to slice or any of that stuff. You know what? It's really not worth thinking about. But only if they have that digit, right? It could be a puzzle, you know, having 1 through 5 or no 8s, and they have 1 through 9, 1 through 7 and 9 or something like that, right? Anyway, well, here we're talking about puzzles with solutions, so we don't actually care about that. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. At least we're only doing it once each. And this works on the non-splits thing, and length, that works as well. So we don't need that anymore. And unfortunately now I'm just gonna have to double check it because it could screw with me if I'm not careful. And it did screw with me. Probably something silly. So 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. Those are all the digits of the solution. Okay, oh, this. If solution equals undefined, we're here. Otherwise, we're here. Sol digits. Sol digits. Sol digits. Oh, Jesus. I'm getting careless. Why am I getting so careless? And why is this not exactly half the screen? All right, so not the solution. I misplaced a 1 somewhere. So that's the sum of 4, sum of 5, sum of 5. That's not sum of 5. 1, 2, sum of 3. Okay. And now they're all cleared. All right. Yeah. So that's getting rid of that weird map reduce bollocks here. And we'll do the same thing over here. So just I less than rows. Like that. And then we'll just do same thing as that here. Equals calls, I guess. And idx plus 1. So this is going to be 1 smaller equals the rows. I think that'll do the trick. So if I go to this one and refresh it, did I remove the thing that told me what's going on here? And that seems to be all correct. Yeah. All right. So we got rid of those weird reduce. I don't know if this is really more efficient or not. This is also a loop. Yeah, I think I got rid of all the weirdness. There's a little bit of weirdness up here, but that's about it. And this function probably should be in here. That probably can be here. All right, get rid of anything else. This probably should be a constant on the level up. All right. Is there anything here that I can do later? For each digits.filter. So digits aren't needed until down here. So let's put the digits here. Okay, solution count, solution, and then this can happen higher up. I think that's it. Yeah. And I don't think we introduced any other weirdness. We're just gonna bump that quickly. Hey Blobs, how you doing? All right, so that should improve the situation a little bit. It's not a perfect thing, but it's kind of about as good as it'll gonna get. Cleaned up mark solved digits code. All right, that's it. Now I'm gonna touch it again. So time to look at the fog of war, specifically this. Now I'm using this here. So that should be correct, but obviously it's not. We also want to do this at the top just to make sure if it gets run multiple times, we're aware. And then we probably want to do this with XY with whatever. Something like that. XY with height. All right, let's have a look. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to knock down all the little reports of issues and stuff to kind of get this version out the door ASAP. There's a couple of bigger issues still I need to deal with, but there's a couple low-hanging fruits. All right, so this, I guess, is not accurate. Or either that or it's changing. And this code isn't run multiple times. Let's have a quick look. If when you're rendering the fog, have these numbers change. Because it could be between initializing the fog and rendering the fog, additional elements are added to the SVG. That is possible. So let's go in here and say render fog. And we're just gonna grab the SVG renderer after this line and see if those sizes will have changed by then. So render fog, is it different at this point? No, it looks like it's the same as what we're using here. Minus 257, width 670, height, yada yada. Width, height, 658. 658. Okay, let's have a look at the resize script in here. Is this under rendering? Yes. Is this not big enough? BB. Maybe the fog initialization happens prior to some kind of resize event thing happening. Okay, let me try something else. Frame work dot, and sorry if I'm cutting off the bottom of the screen again. I'm just sort of bug fixing issues, right? So there's an issue with Fog of War where the mask cuts off elements at us that are too far away from the board. That ranks reported, so I'm looking into that. That's under app. I'm not adding any new features anymore until this release is out the door. So this works. Oh, you know what? I can run this locally. Oh, did I? Did I not copy this? No, I did not. Let's see. So that's width 670. Ah, wait. We know it's not cut off here at the top. So top is minus 81, and here top is minus 82. So it feels like it should be fine. I want to visualize it, right? So currently the fog is rendered via this. Fog. What if I draw like something like this? Okay. So why would that get cut off here? If that's the rectangle we're actually rendering here. Is this a problem? So it looks like the rectangle is correct. Okay, what if I Board rect. What if I add a mask? Mask. The mask that's the problem is fog of war mask fog. Fog of war mask fog. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's not good. But do this. Okay, so that is definitely being cut off here. So fog of war mask fog. This thing here. Where is this? Fog of war mask fog. Board edge rectangle. Fog of war edge. Fog of war edge. One sec. I cut this out. We just have a white thing. Which is the same size as this rectangle. But without the mask, this rectangle is bigger. That's a little bit weird. Hey, Virtual256. Yeah. Chipshell said I could use it, so that's what I'm doing. Alright. Okay, I've got... Why do I have two of these? Why do I have two of these? Why do I have two of these? Huh. I wonder if this code got... Wait, this code did run more than once. Do I remove the items before I put them back in? Ah, yes, I do, and I didn't remove this thing. All right. So, these are the sizes, and they're correct. Now, if I look at the mask here, they are the same sizes, but if I apply this mask, it cuts away less. All right, let's create another mask. Let's duplicate this. Let's actually do this kind of down here separately, right? Do this, put a mask in here. Test mask. And then we'll just use this test mask over here. Like this. And I have a suspicion it's related to these. So let's call this 1 and this 2. And we'll make this magenta and this green. And we'll use mask 1 on this and mask 2 on this. Now, if they're layered in the wrong way, this isn't gonna work. So green is, they're both small. Ah, wait, because I wanted to see if, because masking is the only thing I'm doing here that's other than just plain. And that makes a difference, huh? User space on use. Mask units, user space on use. Why do I have that there? I had that there for a reason. And I don't remember exactly why, unfortunately. And I needed it, and it breaks if I don't have it. Pattern units, user space on use. Pattern units, user space on use. That all coordinates for the geometry appropriate relative to the user coordinate as defined when the pattern was applied. Maybe it only mattered when I did something else, and maybe it no longer matters here when I tried something different earlier. Value indicates that all coordinates of geometry attributes are user. Am I using it anywhere else in this project? Fog of war. Fill patterns. Marker units. Maybe I don't need that. maybe removing this is basically all we need to do. So if I do this, and it's weird that it had such a relatively subtle effect. So that sorts that out. If I do this, and maybe, but I don't think it'll affect the blurriness, right? That would make sense if it did. Yeah, the blurriness is still there. Now, what bugs me is that the blurriness is there if the mask is there, and if I remove the mask, the blurriness goes away. You see that? Mark, by the way, that's kind of the main problem. Like, it's interesting that the accuracy of the like the alignment of the pixels matters, but if I can just delete the mask and the blurriness, you're probably on the stream, you won't see it. But if I remove the mask, now it'll be identical to the non-masked version. There's the tiniest bit of shift, but the blur is gone. And if I bring the mask back, it gets blurry again. And I don't know what would cause that. And it cannot just be pixel stuff, right? Wait, there's some other user space mask and use thing. And I was wondering if one of these user space things, but it shouldn't affect the pixels that are masked, right? Unless, is there some weird CSS maybe going on? Yeah, so this is not the problem. I thought that would be the problem. I hope that would be the problem. That wasn't the problem. Let's have a look at the CSS quickly. No, I was wondering if I was using some sort of rendering mode or anything like that. SVG sharp rendering. Is there something I can do? Maybe apply to the masks. So the user agent shall emphasize geometric precision with speed and crisp edges. Optimize speed. The render for speed or geometric precision and crisp edges option will sometimes cause the user agent to turn off shape anti-aliasing. The thing is that would I apply this to masks? If I say mask, shape rendering, and let's say optimize speed. Mostly because I think that would be the one that's most likely to cause a visual artifact or a change. Yeah, no, definitely still blurry. If I make it crisp edges... And we have to be careful because we already have performance issues with the mask, so we might not be able to do this. No, still blurry. Alright, you know what? I said I wasn't going to look into this. Hey Shelby, how are you doing? No, yeah, well, it's everywhere where the mask is, but where the mask... Here the mask is all white, right? The mask doesn't affect the shouldn't affect the pixels. So here, this is not a fog of war puzzle. So the mask reveals everything, but everything under this reveal all mask is still pixely. Now that I'm saying it, let's see what it looks like if the mask was half the width. So if I say width over 2. Well, yeah. So the problem is where the mask isn't all white, it won't reveal. So I can't, there's no such thing as a partial mask, right? Everything that the mask needs to reveal needs to be there. So there's some weird artifact going on that isn't related to where the mask actually is, because the mask is covering the whole thing, right? And like when it's not like that the mask is partial or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna remove this now, but I'm gonna keep a mind on it because I put that there for a reason, and I don't remember what the reason was. So this is fixing the mask size. Fix inaccurate fog mask sizing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to remove all the fog related stuff on a puzzle that doesn't have fog. And that'll just solve the problem for non-fog puzzles. And fog puzzles currently don't, like I haven't seen any yet that had hints outside the puzzle. And when that happens, well, I can revisit this. But it might also not be fixable, right? There's always that possibility. And it could be something completely different, something I did elsewhere, you know. Basically what I'd have to do is like compare to the version that currently doesn't have the blur issue and then add a mask in and see if it adds the blur issue, right? But I don't have the time to do that today. So what I'd like to do is figure out a way of removing the fog stuff altogether. Now, the reason I'm initially adding the fog stuff is to ensure that the puzzle doesn't get shown. But now that I'm saying it, a puzzle without without fog isn't going to show nothing initially, right? So we should already know by the time we are drawing the fog the first time, we should already know if the puzzle has fog or not. So let's see. Wait a second. At this point, are we... Because the concern I had was that a fogged puzzle would flash the unfogged version of the puzzle onto the screen and then spoil it, basically. So the question is, if I return from render fog, init fog doesn't hide it anyways. So we don't need to run init fog early. Without render fog, init fog doesn't do anything. Init fog, render fog. So init fog happens here. And here, attach element and handle load. So we can basically do whatever check we're doing inside render fog to see if there's a fog in init fog as well, and then just not run it. So basically this. Don't know why that was let. Puzzle, there shouldn't have been a space in the first place. And out of puzzle, we didn't need... Oh, we could get Rosencalls out of puzzle as well. I didn't realize that. All right. We don't need that, but we do want this back here. I think that's it. Yeah. We do this and get rid of our return statement here. Is the intent for the selectable tag to allow selecting if something strange is going on as it is currently doesn't? No, selection screws with scrolling on devices, so I'll have to look into it and see if I have to do some code that. But there's no, I cannot have the text selectable and have it. You know, browsers have not implemented scrolling properly, so I had to do my own scrolling. And if it's selectable, you're just constantly selecting it instead of scrolling, so it screws with the scrolling. So I cannot have selectable text there, unfortunately. Because you're able to scroll it. Otherwise, you cannot do this and also not do this because you're trying to select text. Now, I could potentially do something where double-clicking or something lets you select all of it, but I'll get to it. I'll look into it sometime, but not right now. Yeah, so this is sharp now, isn't it? And this should still load. And this should be sharp now because it no longer... Oops. Oop. All right. So if I switch between these two, yes. So it no longer blurs it because it doesn't put the fog elements in. Now on a puzzle with fog, it'll still blur. And fog still seems to work. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's a really small change. So that should work just like that. I was concerned that it would flash it up, but from what I saw, that doesn't seem to be a problem. Sweet, that was a much quicker fix than I thought it would be. All right. We remove fog or non-fog puzzles. All right, so that should solve. That kind of sorts out the blurry concern there for now. So fix has yeah. So fix fog mask done. Shared link spreadsheet. That's something for post stream. All right. So the last thing I really want to look at is the custom style issue on SudokuPad. No, I don't want to say that. So that one is going to be a little bit complicated, and I don't expect to be able to finish it, especially since I need to go to the bathroom, and that makes my brain not work properly. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look. So, custom styles in F puzzles. I'm going to have to freaking reverse engineer this because I have very little recollection of how exactly it works. So I added a feature for Bremster a long time ago, and in fact, I'm quickly going to look at my private chat with him to see if I can find it. Custom. If I search for custom here. Because if I could get a puzzle that actually implements these custom style. Yeah, okay, so this is something I mentioned to him. So this is one of Bremster's puzzles. It's loaded up in localhost. Okay, so this has all sorts of weird and wonderful custom styles, right? Now, if we are opening that in here, I'm gonna have to show all this stuff. Off, hide, off, show on, hide, off. All right, so if I do this, and then do this, and that doesn't work half the time, thank you Windows, and thank you all the freaking companies that don't implement this properly. So import puzzle. All right. Okay, so I've got it already in here, probably for testing. So now this should have custom styles, which should now override other styling. So if I go in here, now this looks still okay. If I go in here, so we have a pink stuff. So it could be that because only some of these are custom style, it doesn't screw everything else. Play. Also, it could be that this version is a more recent build that has the fix in it. Not sure how I check that. This could be a more recent build. Okay, can I open debugger here? No. Can I remote debug? Chrome. Chrome, inspect, remote. I don't know if I can remote inspect the application. Devices maybe. Coverage, change animation, resources. Once inside quick rendering, search, sensors on. It's new, no. Tools. Is it here? Devices. No, that's not what I was looking for. Devices. If I go here. Okay, I'd have to do a debug build, I guess. I wish it was that easy. The problem is right now I'm not replicating it, and I don't know if it's because this... Ooh, wait. This looks weird. But this could also be... Yeah. So this might be a version of the app that is fixed. On my phone, I don't know if the version on my phone would be fixed. And that would be, of course, a little bit annoying for the live stream. Hidden thermal. No. It has the word hidden in it, so that's probably... I need a... The problem is it's not just having the bug itself, it's also recognizing it. Long thermometers, plutonium. No. I need a killer, because killer cages... Oh, hidden thermal. I need a killer Sudoku, because killer cages show it the most. Let me get rid of the blurring of solutions so I can see the killer cages better. Wait, blur solutions off. That apparently doesn't refresh. Okay, I need to get out of the page now. Yeah, this app needs a lot of updates, and there's a lot of stuff involved outside of the engine. I'm glad I don't have to build the engine again, but building an app is a pain in the butt, I tell you. Come on, killer cages, killer cages. This 6x6x6 should have killer cages in it. All right, I definitely can see the killer cages. All right, so let me go on to Discord on my phone, search for the same link from Bremster for the same puzzle, and see if I can break this version of the puzzle here. All right, how do I search in chat on mobile? Where's the search? How do I search? Oh my god, is there no search? Alright, I'm gonna put this somewhere where I can see it from the phone. Can I? Is my phone, do I have... Yeah, this plug doesn't work. I'd have to get another plug to plug my phone in. Oh, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. Alright, Mark. Ignore this link. I'm just gonna use our chat as a scratch pad for a second. Sorry about that. Alright. This is riveting, I guess. Alright. Oh, God. The test server is so slow for me. And I've not heard anybody else complain about it, so I'm hoping it's something weird between the AWS instance and where I am. But I definitely need to do some performance testing. Okay, that was weird. It's almost like it's frozen or something. Probably because it has to build the thumbnails. All right, give me some killer cages. Killer cages. I really need a search. Are these killer cages? Okay, so these are definitely killer cages. Okay, so this has the bug. So I'm basically looking at red killer cages now. So the idea I'm having is that what if this tool here would decode the puzzle and then inject correct cage data into the puzzle on the fly? That's basically the idea I'm having. So yes, it might still be broken for people who have a lot of puzzles, but if they download a new puzzle, that puzzle might not just fix itself, which might already be good enough, but it might also fix other puzzles, you know. So basically, as it's generating the thumbnails, it might hit the puzzle that breaks it, and then the next puzzle might fix it again, right? Because basically, what's happening is those styles are shared amongst all the puzzles. So as a puzzle changes it, it changes it for all the puzzles afterwards. And that's why one puzzle sort of poisons the whole app for some people. Now I gotta remember where all this stuff lives, right? Because I haven't touched this code in so bloody long. So this is the link server. And it's basically this thing here. And I gotta remember how I'm gonna test it as well. So this is in SudokuPad or in... Yeah, SudokuPad. And then we're going to run test link server and hope this is still working. No, because it's happening. It's basically saying that instead of importing the puzzle you want to import, you're importing a slightly different puzzle that looks similar but has a custom style that's the default style. So that's the only difference, right? So it's just gonna say, hey, the killer cages in this puzzle are supposed to be black, so please make them black. That's all. And it doesn't affect the app. Like, I'm not going to change the app. It's just affecting the data that you're importing into being more correct, right? All right, so the question now becomes, we've got something like this, and we want to change this to wherever this testing happens. So that would be on the 9007. And not under HTTPS. All right, okay. All right, so that's presumably the correct page. And we're gonna find where this happens. And I feel like I've implemented, okay, this is not working at all. I feel I've implemented something along these lines, but it obviously, it doesn't quite work, right? So I think what I was trying to do was changing puzzles with the custom styles to remove them. So at least the puzzles, everything would work normally, but they wouldn't have the custom styles. But maybe people bring in links from somewhere else or something, and then that's the problem. So this idea where I'm changing all the puzzles that don't have custom styles to have default styles as their custom styles might be better. All right, let me just, I'm gonna have to get my bearings here. Handle path CC. So I'm not actually seeing anything crazy happening here. Serve static, so this is all that stuff. Handle path, Sudoku. Compact, yada yada yada. Location. So we're looking at /puzzle/. So this is puzzle.html. Oh, did I implement it on the client side maybe? No. But I could do it on the client, so at least it's not going to be a lot of load on my server. Why can't I minimize this style block? That feels a bit odd. Okay. SudokuPad link. And puzzle package. Puzzle package. Burger package. SudokuPad link. Puzzle package. Okay, so whatever I thought I was doing, I'm not doing it here. But this is where it should happen. So we can look at this now. And puzzle package is used basically to generate this link for opening in SudokuPad. And this is also not used. I have a feeling this is not the latest version of this code. Because I'm not using the link here, and I feel like this should be fixed. And there's changes here that haven't been saved. Ooh, I've got to be careful then. I gotta be careful. What did I change here? This looks like indentation. Let's get rid of the indentation and see if that brings it back. Promise.resolve. Okay. Payload load versus puzzle data. Payload. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I put that in. There was probably an issue with the buffer. And this one is not used in the link server. I think I can commit this. Okay, I'm glad I did this. Update link server. I'm pretty sure this is already deployed. But I need to be more diligent with all that stuff. All right. So step 1. Step 2. Why am I not using this here? So this should be just this. Like that. And that should still work exactly the same. Okay. So that's just, I'm going to say that. All right. So now the idea is, before we use it in these links, we want to modify it. Now the problem with this is that it would require us to decode it, which means we need the fpuzzles decoder code, which means we have to download that, which means we have to delay doing all of this until that code is downloaded, which means if somebody clicks really fast, the link might not work. So that's kind of part of one of those reasons why I probably didn't do this in the past. And we have the fpuzzles decoder here, but we probably will need the latest version. So let's start setting that up. So we're gonna copy over for now we just need the minified file. But we might need some of the other stuff as well. And I think, are we loading in any external resources here? No. And that was kind of on purpose. I didn't want to load in external resources as much as possible. Ah, wait. JS. Ah, okay. I put that in there. Just update the version. What? Move this folder. I'm not moving a folder. I'm just overwriting a file. I didn't want to move a folder at all. So this is a bit scary. Why does it think I'm trying to move a folder? Hey, don't do this to me. Alright, so /js/fpuzzles decoder.min.js. I guess. And now it doesn't work anymore. Great. What's going on here? Okay. Why would that stop everything else from running? Issues. I'm a bit worried that I'm hiding something from the console here. What's going on here? Is it some of the module loading stuff? Let me put in the unminified version as well. fpuzzles decoder.js. Okay, if I do this. Okay. Now, this code at the bottom here shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, this should be fine. And the fpuzzle decoder should create a root object called load fpuzzles. But why does nothing else run anymore? What the hell, man? Is it the / closing of the script tag? Maybe. Now in this case, I actually do want the script to download first. So I'm sure to have access to it. All right, so let's look at the insides. We want to parse. Do we want to parse? Or do we just want to decompress? We probably just want to decompress. For now. So, load fpuzzles.decompress. Load fpuzzles is not defined. Nope. Load fpuzzle. Nope. Okay. Guess this is gonna do the trick. And here we go. So I might be able to do it in let's actually do this in fpuzzle space without decoding it, transforming it to CTC data, and then transforming it back again, which would be a bit of a pain in the butt. All right, so this is our puzzle. And then here we should have a cage with custom style. So the trick is not for puzzles like this. The problem is this applies, I don't even remember how this works. Let's see. Let us see. So if I take this JSON.parse this little ditty, white space after JSON on what? Custom styles. Wait. How is it supposed to... Oh, no. Yeah, it's supposed to just decode this part. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to work. What's the problem here? Unexpected non-white space character after JSON at position 103. So we have arrow, bulb, and then maybe we don't need that. Ah, we don't need that, I think. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. So it basically defines these two styles, and they get replaced where? So now we need to see how the system utilizes these. Custom style. Is it singular or plural? Custom style. Custom style. fpuzzle decoder. So in fpuzzle decoder, custom style, metadata. Metadata.custom style. Remove call cells from custom style cages. Match custom style. Where am I searching here? Public staging CTC app. So custom style is added to metadata here. Oh, shoot. And then it gets... Ah, yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fine. And that basically overrides these styles. Ugh. So it's a bit tricky because it means... Most of the time it's thickness and... Ah, so wait a second. So it's just these, right? So we have custom style bulb, arrow, bulb. And where else are we using custom style? Cages. Custom style, bulb. Ah, I'm starting to think, was there another thing? This is arrows and lines. It shouldn't really affect killer cages. The frick? There's something else going on. Unless this is how it's doing it now, and it used to do it differently. I might have to look at the older version that's currently live. This is like a year ago. Because I fixed it, of course I fixed it. And I don't know what it looks like when it's not fixed. And even the SudokuPad code here is updated because I've been working on it. I've started working on it ages ago to update it. So it's kind of it's not an up-to-date version, but it's post-fix for sure. Find custom style. So I'm guessing in a very old code base, the style was still handled in the script file. So we gotta go back to the version in December. Let me actually check. So this one is, and we have no confirmation that this one is affected, right? Because this might be post-fix. So this is version 1.4.0, but it doesn't actually tell me the version of the engine that's in here, unfortunately. And the one on my phone, 1.3.1 debug. 1.3.1 debug. I might be able to look at 1.3.1 debug. 3.1, so it could be one of these. So this is 132.2. 132.2. 132.0. So on CDC app, we got this tagged. So this version should have the issue. And now I gotta remember how to check out a tagged git check out tag. How do I check out a tag? So git checkout tag slash, what's it called? v0.132.0. So that should get us back into the Stone Age, basically. And now, my God, this is going to be weird. In fact, it would have been off the, yeah, this is definitely not it. This is not it. Staging. I have a feeling there's already a lot fewer files there than what there used to be. Okay. Custom styles. Shoot. Did it not support custom styles in those days? I'm confused now. If the app doesn't support... So the app doesn't have the code to support custom styles. How did it modify the styles then? God, and I remember looking into it and figuring it out, and I don't have notes or anything like that. I remember fixing it, because obviously it was happening on the website as well. Custom styles. This is a bit dodgy. Let's just 1 second. So obviously there's no custom styles here. So there must have been a version where custom style support was added. I must have added this after and released a new version of the app with a bug in it, but already supported custom style. And I'm not even certain that's true, but it must be. So this is older than I thought. I thought it was earlier this year, but it must have been last year then. In November. So it was last year. And in fact, it wasn't in 1.3.2. So in 1.3.2, there just wasn't support for it yet. Ah. I just saw it in the commit message. 1.3.9, custom style import from fpuzzles. But then the app says it's 1.3. Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe I was just being a little inaccurate there. Wait. Hey guys. 1.3.1. No, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't want to do that. Well, let's have a quick look at what it does. Well, okay, the other thing I can do is I can look at how I fixed it. So if we're looking at the history, and then we'll, so 1410 plus letters. That's branches though. We don't want to look at branches. All right, let's go back to master for a sec. I gotta be careful as well that I don't screw something up and end up with the wrong code in the wrong places. So let's just do the primitive thing and just scroll down. 170, 160, 140, 140. Can I embiggen this for the stream? And for my old man eyes here. Refactor feature renderer, more linear URL parsing. Reduction 140. 142 letter tool. 141. Reduction to master. But 141 existed much earlier than that. Ah, maybe that's what I'm confusing. Oh, of course, because I version tag. I do the tagging when it goes into production. But I used to run. Oh, geez. There's spammers. I should be able to just add block list. And does that get rid of them on all the other places? Report. Commercial content spam. Report. That's so annoying that it takes probably more effort for me to report than it takes them to actually do the spamming, which is just so ridiculous. Reporting just should be easier. And in Twitch, nobody's in Twitch. All right. Sorry about that. So the code for it was added much earlier. Support head length for arrows. Centering. Timer pause, browser temp, replay effects. Small digit normal size. Copyright last 2. Sync production 135. So this is already 2022. So this was added in November. So December. My God, it's almost a whole year ago. To production. 132 went to production. Okay, checking on her. Skip over fixed to last style of text. So according to my Git thingamajig here, this must have happened much later. So if I look at custom styles, if I look at this thing, this was done when? February 2nd. Okay, so it's not in November. I don't know where. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Let's look at February then. So then this was post. Then I don't understand how it can modify those styles. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Maybe it's not the custom styles. Maybe it's the... It's just any style. So maybe what happens is... if somebody creates cages with a transparent color, those those cage colors might just push through, right? Like, you know, words are hard. So here, it passes the option straight through, and then I think what might be happening, so this might be even more primitive. It's not technically related to custom styles then. As it renders the cage, oh yeah. Okay, so we have cage styles here, right? So we have cage border styles here. And basically, I think what I did was, I did something like this, but without this. So there was a time when this line was broken, where basically, instead of applying all these styles onto an empty object, it was just applying them on top of the globally shared object. I think that's the problem. Yeah, you see, I gotta get my head around this. So this is gonna be a problem in here. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go to that file, and then I think we can go step through the history of it on, you know, focusing on that line. So this is going to be around line 500 something. The browser is really, my god, my whole computer is freezing up while it's trying to like, come on, render. Oh dear. Chrome is not managing this very well. It does not like list. It does not even like displaying this file. What have I done? Yeah, I can't scroll right now. The browser just freezes up. All right, slowly. Whoa, stop. What happened? Oh god, it just started scrolling forever, and now it's threatening to freeze up. This is not good, guys. This is making working with it very, very hard. I think I need a new computer. Are we really frozen on frickin' showing a source file? This is not good. Is the stream still running? I have no idea why it went. This is what? I don't know why it shows this. The security, oh god. YouTube stopped. I think my Chrome is crashing. This is terrible. I can't open the task manager either. The Chrome task manager, that is. Oh, okay. I think it just sort of rebooted the frozen tabs. This is not good. So this browser window here is still kind of weird and broken. Okay, we're back on the file. Can I just scroll to the spot? I just need to scroll down a little bit. Jesus. Because it has a pretty good way of like showing me per line when that line was updated and such. All right, render cage label. We're almost there. And it's freezing again. God damn it, I just need to scroll down a couple of... I need a new computer, guys. All right, this is not gonna work. I can't even look at this file without my computer's almost crashing. And yeah, it killed YouTube again. Now I have a Git blame plugin here. 7 months ago, 151, fix cage style overflow. So 158.1. Can I? 6AC 3534. 6AC 3534. 6AC 3534. 6AC 3534. Can I just do this? Ah, man. Might have to close a few browser windows as well while I'm at it. So git check out. Because the file was a bit shorter then, because maybe the Git webpage can actually browse this file at that point in time. I can't even leave the page. I just want to leave the page at this point. And it's crashing. Oh my god. Well, I guess it's not crashing. It's just, well, now it's crashing. Oh my god. Well, it was a fun stream, isn't it? I can't even look at the chat right now because the chat is web-based. So I don't even know if the stream freezes when... I don't think my stream is web-based though. So maybe it won't freeze the stream. So render cage. Cage style. So this at this point it was already fixed, I believe. Fix cage style overflow, right? And the fix is exactly this. All right, so this is the version. So in March of 2022, I fixed it. Okay, so now we know what the problem is. So it's not related to custom styles at all. I was completely wrong about that. It's not related to that at all. Let me see. So this does, in fact, it doesn't even affect the fpuzzles decoder. So then the question becomes, so oh no, then we can't fix it because, or maybe we can. Cage options, cage cells, fpuzzle RC. So if I look at something like this, and we don't actually care about the, yeah, we don't care about that stuff. We don't care about the custom styles. Screw the custom styles, right? We care about the actual cages here, right? Now they have these styles, and these styles don't necessarily translate directly to CTC styles, right? So something like outline color outline color. So outline color circle. And then here, it does support outline. Okay. So here we are, and it's translating outline color and font color to text color, border color. Okay, so what is happening basically is that somebody can put a transparent color into outline and font color, and then all the other cages become transparent. So what I need to do is I need to inject font and outline colors into cages that don't have them. So this is only cosmetic cages. So killer cages, I think, don't even allow for styling in fpuzzles. And let me just make a little scratch space here. If I look at this and I look at the default styles for the cages up here, So we basically have it. It shouldn't affect killer cages, because killer cages are handled completely separately, right? So cages here are specifically... This specifically only handles... I think it only handles cosmetic cages. Or does it? Cage ups to style is undefined. So this puzzle that we're looking at here... no, not what I wanted. Although I can use this. Decode URI component. Decode this, and then we'll inject this into an fpuzzles instance. So what's going on here? Can read property of undefined reading X. Okay, so something here doesn't load at all. All right, I'm gonna make a new puzzle. I'm gonna make it super small so the data isn't big. Right, new grid, make it super small. And I'm gonna place a killer cage. And I'm gonna place a cosmetic cage, if I can find it. Cage. And then I'm gonna try to edit this. So there's a separate group called killer cage. Killer cage, little killer sum, killer cage, here we go. What does killer cage do? Cells, values. So killer cage doesn't include any styling. So it only affects custom cages. Then the question becomes, if it only affects custom cages, how does it then affect the shared style? And that's exactly the question I need to answer. I need to ask it, and I need to answer it. Order cage style. Now, style, if style is not equals to undefined. So style is always not undefined. So the custom cosmetic cages are translated to some kind of specific cage. If style is undefined, it becomes one of these three. Right. The problem is, if it's still undefined at that point, style. Cage.style. Cage.style, cage and out cage.style equals cage.style. If cage.style and out cage. So at this point, out cage might not have a style. It defaults to killer. That's why. Okay, so it defaults to killer. So a cosmetic cage. So if I go in here and let's say outline color red. And especially the real problem is if it's transparent, right? So this ultimately would, in the old version of the code, and yeah, all right. Export, open in CDC. Don't know why this opened here. Open localhost. Right. In the older version of the code, which I don't think I'm running right now. Am I? Good question. Am I running the old version of the code right now? We are running the version after the fix, right? So if we go... If we... Can I just check this one out? And we can get this one, and we get this one. So these are the two versions, with and with before and after the fix. So if we go to the version before the fix, we should be able to replicate the problem. Yeah, but it's not the it's not the custom style feature. It's the cosmetic cages, right? So it's not technically a custom style. All right. So now, if we go into SVG render dot, and I think the styles are up here. So, okay, why is it so unfolded? Dot styles dot cage borders. And if we look at the killer cage border now, it's red, yeah. So it modified the global style. Okay. So that means if we inject the default styles during the conversion process, we might be able to avoid this after all. So we are still in the running for a fix here. Specific for the cages, the custom styles, I don't actually know. Those should be ignored, actually. So they're not, that was a red herring. I don't know why. Probably because I did it around the same time. No, actually, the cage thing, I never, that's not something I enabled. Maybe I just added some code to respect the styling. Anyway, so we got to go back here now. Sorry about this. This is a little bit of a roundabout way, all right? So we have these cages here. And we also want to do a version on this guy here. So this should be hopefully a little bit smaller. Oh, wait. Should be, let's go to the localhost version. All right. So we have the red cage and we have the killer cage. So the so the problem is that the killer, yeah, okay. Man, my brain. So there's two things I could do. Is I could convert the killer cages to cosmetic cages with the killer cage style in it, and basically hide, like, get rid of the killer cage altogether. Step one. And step two is all yeah, okay, so first I should convert all the killer cages to cosmetic cages. And then all cosmetic cages that don't have styling associated with them should become default killer cages. Now, I don't know if sum is respected at this stage, or if we only have value. So we have cage and killer cage. So maybe if I add unique as true, but there's no sum. I mean, I think I can add some in. All right. First of all, let's dot cage. Let's just output that and killer cage. Like that, so it's just easier to look at. So we have these, whoops. We have the cages and the killer cages, and we probably want to do this. Save us a little bit of hassle. All right. So first step is to add all the killer cages to the cages, and then, yeah, we'll take it from there. So killer cage dot for each cage. So they translate directly into these guys, basically, right? So we'll do fpuzzles.cage. I don't think order is going to be a problem. Object.assign. And now here, we're not going to make the same problem, the same mistake. Cage. And then here we're going to add the additional styling. And I think there's only font color and outline color, if I got that right here. So cage. Color font color. I don't know how else you're supposed to. Yeah. Anyway. And then these should be pulled from these global styles here. So that's under... Oh, wait. No, I'm just going to hard code them because I don't want to inject this into here. Because I figured I could make it dynamic, but, you know, not necessary. So stroke is just going to be black. And font color... I guess they're just both going to be black. I don't think... font color is actually... Huh. Text color, border color. It's weird because they're not even defined here. It's a little confusing because there's so many different, you know. But if I do this, just to keep things simple right now. Right? And then at the end, we're going to just delete this. What does that look like? Yeah. So at that point, killer cage should just not exist anymore. But because we know these are killer cages, we also want to do add this kind of data. And sum equals cage.value. I don't know if sum is something I'm using here. I'm not using it for killer cages here either. Find killer cage. I'm not even assigning style here. It feels odd. I guess because killer cage is the default style. So I guess we don't need sum. We'll just add unique is true. So what we got here now? We've got cage 1, 2. We don't have a third cage. We don't have a third cage. 1 and 2. F puzzle dot cage dot push. Cage. Oh, because there's only one at first, and now there's two. All right, and then there's two. And the second one should correspond to the killer cage with these colors assigned. And at the same time, for every cage ahead of time here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna assign colors, default colors, if they don't exist. Or we just do it afterwards for all of them. Yeah, so if we do this, we'll just add the unique equals true. That's the only thing we're gonna change here. And then we'll just go through all the cages. Right? Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll just say cage.outline C equals, and we'll just make sure it has a default value associated with it. Like that. And font color, same thing. And then afterwards, right? So now all of these should have colors associated with them. They should default to black, which is the default styling for the killer cages. Shouldn't be very intensive at all. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Keep it simple. Killer cages afterwards get removed, so we don't have to end up with double cages. And puzzle package. Puzzle package is the whole thing, right? And then afterwards, we should be able to just recompress it. Compress puzzle. Encode, no. Just compressing it first. JSON, string vi. F puzzle. So that should be the compressed data. Then we just encode your encode RI component. I don't think we need safe encoding. We just need safe decoding. And then I don't think we actually technically need to encode it here, but let's do that just to keep it the same. I don't think technically it needs to be encoded for these URLs, right? Because we don't... It's safer to encode it, because if there's a slash in it, it might screw with URLs. I don't know. And then we just need to substitute it. It's obviously bigger now because we added some extra bits in there. And for a large puzzle, it might make a difference, but, you know, it is what it is. Better than having it completely broken and breaking the whole app, right? And then we'll just reassign this back to puzzle package. So technically, this should be it. Now, how can I test this? So technically, on my phone right now, and I need to rebuild the Steam version of this broken code. In fact, there's something happening on my phone now when I open the puzzle listing that it kind of freezes up. So before I found a killer puzzle that had red cages now. And red cages are really not the worst that could happen, right? So I need to do a test scenario where I have cages, transparent cages, and then restored cages, right? You know what Because ideally, it fixes the app even with just one puzzle loaded in. If there's a puzzle loaded in after the broken puzzle, and if it's the last puzzle that is rendered, that might be enough. I could put this up on a different server and then link to it from the beta version, and then have some of the people with the affected versions test this for me. All right, so let's have a quick look at the actual changes now. So these, you know, we just updated them. We didn't actually change them. I don't think we've changed them, right? I'm just gonna make sure the wait, let's bring CTC app back to the latest version now. So bring that back to master. Let's bring all the files back. Quite a big change. Hundreds of revisions since then. We bring the fpuzzles decoder over, so we want to make sure that's the correct version. And then all we've changed is this. This is some other change I need to not worry about right now. So we've added this, and we can do the minified version as well. Then we're basically doing this, and there was a blank line that snuck in. So we're gonna turn this into a function. We're gonna call this const patch cage styles. And we're just gonna do, it takes a puzzle package, does some stuff, and then returns a new puzzle package. We'll put that up here, maybe. No, we're not gonna put it up here. We are gonna put it up here because then it's isolated, and maybe it'll be easier in the future to remove it. And we should probably put it in an external file anyways, but for now, I'm just gonna stick it in here. And then here, we're just gonna do this. And then I'm gonna add a little comment here. Whoops. Patch H styles for older SudokuPad versions. I want to go to the beginning of the line, but it gets me to the beginning of the file, which is not nearly as useful. All right. So if we now refresh this, open SudokuPad, it should have offered me to import. Okay, that's not right. It's definitely not importing this puzzle, is it? It's not bringing up the dialogue to actually open the puzzle. That's a little worrying. So I'm gonna definitely have to run the debug version. Okay, that's worrying. So let's remove this code and see if this fares better without the changes we've just made. This works. So whatever we're doing here is we need to re-add the F puzzles. String. I think that's because we're removing that here. Removing that. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Now I don't know if that fixes anything else, but that's potentially a fix. So I need to put this somewhere. I need to get somebody with the problem to fix to test it for me, and I also need to rebuild the version with the bug in a debug build so I can see the console. Oh my god. Wait, I'm an idiot. I can run this through the browser. All right, I'll do this later. I feel like there's things cooking behind me, so I better get going. All right, let's have a quick review of what we managed today. We sorted out... Don't need that anymore. Well, we looked into this, actually. I'm happy with that, even though it turned out something else. Okay. Don't need those anymore, either, those notes. We've updated the Fog of War stuff. We've updated the scene digits stuff. So that should be it. Now, the custom styles shouldn't affect that because SudokuPad just doesn't support custom styles, right? So it wasn't the custom styles, and I feel a bit bad because in my head, I've been kind of not blaming Bramster because he asked for a feature and I gave him a feature. But I was saying, I shouldn't have implemented that feature. I should have said no once we've done the update, but it wasn't that feature. So this bug was already present. It just, I don't know how it didn't come up until then. Weird. Although it was around the time, just shortly after the last update. So maybe I was still planning to update it and just never got around to it or something. Because I fixed it in March, right? And I think the last release was in December. Anyway, this would hopefully tide some people over that are struggling to use the app for more recent puzzles. And you know, it's a terrible issue. It should never have happened, but it did. Anyway, well, I'm still working freaking every day, all day. So, gotta get this release out, and then it's time to update the apps big time. Thank you very much for hanging out. It always helps me to keep going. I think everybody watching here is already on my Patreon and so on. That's something also I'm thinking about sorting out. I gotta get some Patreon exclusive rewards up. I kind of struggle a little bit because obviously, you know, I don't want to give things like all the work I'm doing is supposed to be as widely available as possible, and the patrons make that possible. But I don't know, maybe I'll do some patron specific links or pages or dev blogs or things like that. Let me know if you're a Patreon and there's something you'd like to see. Of course, I am wary of adding more to my plate because obviously the money is supposed to support the stuff on my plate already, not add more things to it. But anyway, thank you very much. We're almost at 100 patrons. I think we're seven to go. So that would be awesome if I can reach that anytime soon. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a good day. Good evening, good morning, and bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks. And I don't know how to spell. Thank you. Take care.